we're talking about building tomorrow's business today. So we'll be talking about the AI-powered metaverse transition. And I don't know if all my guests are here. We have William Jackson not be able to join us because of some technical issues. We have Trevor Kimani. Very good. So we also have Jerry. Is Jerry here with us? Jerry? Oh, she's not able to make it. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So we can go ahead and start with Trevor. So we can start by your introduction.
Thank you. My name is Trevor Kimani. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Appleblock. And Appleblock is a blockchain-based company that's enabling all of us in this room to invest in real estate using tokens.
Interesting. So today we're talking about our topic today, AI-powered solutions, and I want you to take us through the use cases. What are the traditional, how can I put it, the traditional businesses, how can they take advantage now of the AI-powered solutions?
Yeah, I mean, there's someone who mentioned that AI is electricity, so it's basically anything, right? But maybe just to understand who's in the room so I can share some ideas that are really relevant to the room. How many guys are still in uni? Just keep your hands up. And how many people, keep your hand up if you have a business? Okay, so there are a few young entrepreneurs in the room. How many people, this is a fresh question, how many people have invested in any type of cryptocurrency? Okay, good. So that means that all of you who are invested in cryptocurrencies are taking entrepreneurship in an investment perspective. So, but the opportunities are amazing because if you look at the technology that's a general purpose technology, you're talking about technology that we use for anything. And if you look at whatever it is that you're passionate about, I've heard someone talk about biotech, I've heard other ones talking about milking cows, all of those are useful. Because basically, when you have a technology that's a general purpose technology, you can actually find use cases for anything. For me, the most interesting use cases, and it just happens to be that the person who was having biotech is behind me, is actually about biotech. Because everyone in this room can actually use AI. AI can be used to solve problems for everyone in this room when it comes to health issues. So let's say you have maybe low or poor eyesight. Solve with AI. But personally, in the industry that I'm in, which is for real estate, we can make it very easy for you guys to find it. So someone talked about psychographics. I can get an understanding of you and really give you the option that's viable for you as an investment. Maybe you want to invest in something so you can start clearing off your Netflix bill, or maybe you're paying for gym and your investments should be starting to pay for your gym. Or maybe you think you're starting a family and you want to invest so that you can pay for school fees. There's different types of real estate investments you can look for. Land might not be the one, because the days of investing in land and then getting 100% gains is gone. That happened with our parents, but we still have very good opportunities to create easy ways to deliver value to all of us as customers using AI. But also, when it comes to the metaverse, I really like the idea of digital twins. So I think there's an example of using the metaverse VR headsets. Yes, using the metaverse VR headsets to learn about like the nucleus of a cell. But you can actually have a doctor review your actual organ in a 3D world and see exactly what's going on in the metaverse because of digital twin. So those are just some of the cool things that I've seen, but at the end of the day, truly, it doesn't really matter what you want to do. Yeah, it's going to have an impact in your life in one way or
Interesting. Now that you mentioned about the trends, I want you to talk about now we have Outlook and the leveraging AI and the metaverse. Now, what other companies have successfully leveraged AI and the metaverse?
I like what Fortnite is doing. I can't remember the owner of the company, but the game Fortnite, and also many other games. If you have a metaverse world, and then in that world you have autonomous AI that you can interact with, it just makes the game way more. So you're dealing with another gamer who is a gamer, and then you're dealing with a robot that's not really part of the game, but is interacting with you autonomously. So it means every time you interact with that AI, it's a different interaction. I like that. I like that that's happening. But obviously, we know that Meta. Actually, not many people raise their hands when they asked about Meta. But Meta is creating a whole new social platform. So if you're using Instagram, which is powered by Meta, now they're creating something similar or something similar to TikTok, but for the VR. And that way you can find a lot more use cases, whether it's playing games or whether it's connecting with people or going on dates. I saw my cousin was on a date in the metaverse. All of that will be happening. So,
So also now that we're talking about companies that are leveraging AI and metaverse, can you share with us how we can be able to interact now with iPhone?
yeah, that's also why I asked about who's ever invested in a cryptocurrency before, because ideally, Apple Block is a way for someone to generate wealth not having to go take a loan, maybe save for 20 years. You know, our parents saved for like 50 years before they could buy their first house. But for us, we have the technology to reduce the entry barrier. And that's what Block is doing. So let's say you're interested in cryptocurrency, that's a very exciting but also very risky investment. But real estate is also something that we're all innately interested in. Okay, assume, maybe not assume, but we make it very easy for you guys to achieve your goals of investing in real estate by simply buying a share of an income generating apartment or a building. And then that way you can start getting cash flows on a monthly basis. You just see money entering your bank because there's a tenant which you're a landlord of, even though you only own maybe 5% of this apartment, you're still a landlord, and that rent is coming into your bank on a monthly basis. And of course, with digital, we are a digital first business, so just go to alphablock.io, you'll find our website, and you'll also see the assets we have that you can invest in. Maybe get them waiting for the bull market to move so that you can take their profits and then so they come talk to you when you're ready to take your profits into real estate. But our goal is to make it easy for us to be able to grow and, or rather, create and grow wealth for people who are first-time real estate investors.
Also, when you mentioned money, anyone is money will follow. So, I'm sure we'll find you. We want to find more about Anthropologue and interact with you more. Sure. So, moving on swiftly, let's talk about some of the challenges. Maybe some of the challenges you've encountered, or some of the challenges that businesses who want to leverage AI into their metaverse solutions they might be encountering.
Yeah, I mean, right now the metaverse is I mean, we're talking about images that don't really look clean. The bandwidth is low, so you don't really have really exciting interactions, and that's hindering adoption. Personally, I've attended the metaverse concert actually, but the only thing you could do is raise your hand and shake your shoulders. So imagine where in the near future you can be able to actually show your moves on the dance floor, but you're dancing right next to Beyonce. That'd be really cool, but we're not there yet. So definitely user experience is a challenge. But also people creating things that we can actually use. So the main use cases in the metaverse is just meeting and maybe games. But you can do teaching in the metaverse. I've not seen any schools that are using it yet. We can do, consultations. Maybe you call someone, you're like, hey, does that thing fit me? I want to see how it looks on your body. You can just digital replica, put it on yourself. All those use cases are coming up, but they're not yet quite there. And that's why it's good that all of you guys who are in this room who seem to be interested in this should be aware that they're not there. So can someone build them so we can use them? And hopefully you also become a billionaire in the process. It's going to take some time, but luckily it's not going to take that much time. And that's where the exciting part of where we are living today is. Because basically, ChatGPT was launched like last year, November or something. And then it was the fastest to ever be adopted. And it's simply a way to interact with an AI model. Okay, now there's hundreds of thousands of new apps. They might not be amazing, but there's hundreds of thousands of new apps with different use cases that are built using the large language models. But if you compare, so that's a year, 1 year from a company's launch. But if you compare someone like Facebook, Facebook started in a university, and I think even after 5 years, it was still just a business in a university that was comparing people's faces and saying who's hot and who's not. Actually, how Facebook started, but today it's now one of the largest companies in the world. But if we now look forward, it means even you as an individual, whatever passion you have, it is creating, NFTs and selling that to the global market, or setting up a platform that sell it for anything. You actually have the opportunity to become a global business in the next 6 months if you want. But ability is there, technology is there, skill sets. Let me tell you guys, us as Kenyans, and I'm sorry there's no, some guys are not Kenyan here, but we're known as one of the smartest people in the world. So there's nothing that someone in US or Silicon Valley can say or do that we're not capable of doing. And now that all these tools are available, they're not stopping us.
Very true. And also when we're having this conversation, some of the issues that we cover, like we're always scared about maybe our data, our information, who's collecting it, how are they using it, and all that. And I want to understand, especially from a business perspective, what are some of the ethical, how can I put it, ethical concerns or issues that business should consider before they can implement these solutions?
Yeah, I think we have to be aware that these technologies are extremely powerful. Using data is extremely powerful, and with great power comes great responsibility. I know someone said it in their head. But basically, you have to understand, because of all this power, people can actually take advantage of you. So when you're scrolling social media and you see certain adverts, and then you think about the decisions you've been making over the last few months, just think about how much has been influenced by what you've seen. Maybe you decided to buy shoes, maybe you decided to buy a pair of sunglasses or glasses. That was influenced by someone you saw or something you saw. So this influence with AI is also going to be exponentially more powerful. I'll give you a simple example to understand how AI is extremely powerful in this case. People are using AI to understand whether pigs are happy or not happy in their pens. By simply looking at the movements of the nose, how much does a pig's nose really move, right? So what does that mean about human emotion? How much emotion do we show on our face? So do you know, I think I started noticing that when you say something, you get an advert. We've all started noticing. So it's actually happening. So who's to say that every time you're doing a selfie, someone is not accepting your facial expressions and using that to influence you? Or today you look sad. then you send them something that will make them buy some burgers, so they'll finish some burgers. So all this power is actually, but also a lot smarter. We understand these things. A lot of people know that when they said you noticed whether when you say something is enough. So we're aware. But let's also be very keen that these powers are not in our control, and actually we are the product.
Okay. So now let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the future. How do you see the future? How do you see businesses moving towards metaverse? And now, businesses, what can we do now to prepare for the future?
Yeah, I think whatever we've been taught, how many people here in business school?
It's not this problem. Student
21.
AI can we talk?
So I went to business school, and a lot of what I learned was useful. Yeah. But people who are going into uni now might not have the skills for the job that they would want when they're graduating. So the field is changed. So even you, as if you're thinking about starting a business, you have to realize that. So when you're asking for advice, just think about it. Am I getting advice from someone who understands how the future is going to look? Or am I getting advice from someone who's using their last 10, 20 years of experience and telling me, do what I did, because that's what worked? Because I can guarantee you, not a lot of what worked in the past is going to work as efficiently in the future. So, but that's a good thing if you're graduating, because you have the opportunity to do whatever you want, the way you want, and figure it out from scratch and actually become a pioneer. So, and then on top of that, the fact that everything is going to be a new paradigm and the world is going to be totally different, whether it is having a business that interacts with customers in the metaverse, in the real world, and creating products that merge the two, you have an opportunity to actually create it from scratch. And I think at the end of the day, just know that the opportunities are there for whatever it is you want to achieve. And as a business, if you're just starting off from scratch, that's actually the best opportunity you have.
So, also we are almost wrapping up. I want to ask you, is there anyone with a question for us? Anyone? No one?
Could you repeat the question?
I'm asking if there's anyone with a question for a speaker.
Anybody want to speak?
There's no one.
There's a question here. There's a question.
Thank you very much, Brother Trey, for your insights. As a business person, I'll be very much interested in the safety and the security of my investments. And the model that you're using, I want you to give us some assurances. If we have to put the investment there, because I've read some stories, I don't know if they're true or wrong or not true. Some guys started a crypto company in China, and when people invested, one morning they woke up and they were told that the guy is dead and they had their passwords. So how safe are we in this?
That's an excellent question, because the problem with regulations not keeping up with innovations is that there's a lot of bad actors that have access to a lot of power. And that's what happened in the crypto markets, or it's still happening, but at least it's reduced significantly. But when it comes to making those decisions, and this is not investment advice, basically you have to understand what you invest in. That's actually why we chose real estate as a product, because that's something that's easy to understand. You're sitting in real estate, you can see that this is a real thing, but it's hard to access as a form of value because of the processes that analog processes we have. So take that understanding and then think about it from a crypto perspective. What is this crypto doing? What is the value that this crypto is giving to the market? Is it giving value from a perspective that has also growth opportunities? Those growth opportunities going to experience competitive, legislative, environmental challenges in the future? You have to think about it like an actual investment. Because to create a cryptocurrency is just a few lines of code. Anyone, even right now, before we leave, you can start now and before we leave, have one currency. But so that's why there's so many currencies in the market. But there's not so as many currencies that actually have real world value and use. Bitcoin has that well-known store of value use case, and it's mainly succeeded because of adoption. So if you have a new crypto that's being launched and you don't understand it, just don't touch it. I mean, it will go up 1,000%. You'll hear of people that made money and basically they want to retire now. But you could also lose a lot of money and make those mistakes. So think about it like an investment. Unfortunately, right now regulations are not yet there, and so there's no one you can go to and say, "Hey, give me my money back." But there's a lot of well thought out, well structured, well executed crypto investments around the world. Alpha Block is not one of them. We are just, a real estate investment platform that makes it easy for people to access this asset class by reducing the entry barrier. So we're basically like creating digital shares. That's how we work. But at least in that example for Alpha Block, you can understand that what you're investing in is an apartment or a building. You can go and see it. In fact, when you're you can point to someone and tell them I've invested in this apartment. But when it comes to cryptos, you have to be careful because you're not very sure how the people who are running these projects and what their actual long-term sustainability will be.
So you're saying Dio, do your own research every day. Every day.
Yeah,
Every day. Thank you guys. It's been amazing. Do you have another question?
Okay, thank you. So I have a question. My question is the security of that feeding into the online investments. Like most recently, I think we have the issue of WorldCoin. So some people were feeling that they should not get engaged because it was strictly using your eyeballs and nose to confidential. So do you think it's because as Africans we are still ignorant, or there's something that is they want to be used as a trade of tool? Thank you. Good question. There's a lot of misinformation about WorldCoin, and of course, when something of such magnitude comes into the country, everyone will be interested. But yes, the technology, and this is where blockchain actually comes in to give power to the people. The technology's aim is to enable you to own your digital identity. The way they design the technology is to allow them to collect data, but not to collect the actual data that you're giving, but to give, I don't know how to explain it non-technically, but basically it's like saying, I know that this is who you are based on the information that we collected. So your ID number might be number 3. ID number 3 correlates with these other aspects of the data that was collected, but they do not actually hold on to your eyeball iris data. So that way you're not giving them your data, but you're giving them a way to prove who you are. And that's really important because in the digital economy, none of us actually own our data. And what this will lead to in the future is that if you own your data, whoever wants to market to you will have to pay you. We had just recently, if you want to get your own data from the internet, you might have to pay like 300,000 to be a member, then you're collecting your data. So it's going to be a world where if someone wants to access your data, whether it's through digital marketing, whether it's through analysis or market research, they have to pay you, and the only way that can happen is if you have a foolproof way to prove that this is me digitally, this is me, and there's no other me, and I'm the only me. So that way, your digital ID can be linked to anything that happens with your digital footprint. And that's what I believe works for the news to read because not how the news is sometimes.
Yes, thank you so much for this session. That's a lot from you. So, would like you to share your last words, maybe piece of advice.
Yeah, so seeing as the world is going to change drastically, um, extremely, like just be very aware of what it is you want to achieve in your life. Because at the end of the day, I remember our parents then there was like the options of like lawyer, accountant, doctor. And then for me, when I was going to uni, I was like, I want to be a sportsman and maybe play some sports, but I was like, there's no money there. But now there's money. And these opportunities are going to grow infinitely. You can become, the best in the world at anything because the knowledge is available, the tools are available, and you also have access to the rest of the world to give whatever value it is you want to give to the rest of the world. So whatever it is you want to do, just understand that as long as you focus on it, you'll actually be able to achieve it. And if you really push, you can actually achieve it on a global level. So it doesn't really matter what you want to do. And sometimes you have to understand that people who are telling us what they think we should do coming from the old way of thinking. Unfortunately, the world is going to change so fast that the old way of thinking will no longer be relevant. So be careful with, your long-term goals, but be very intentional about what it is you want to achieve because truthfully, like the world already now is in a position where anyone can do what they need to do with little to no investment. Because you have a phone, which is basically a computer, it's actually a supercomputer, and then that supercomputer can deliver some products and help you take it to the rest of the world. But also remember that everything that we have learned is going to be flipped upside down, and we have to really write the script from scratch. And which, in my opinion, is an amazing opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
This panel, photo, please. Photo, sorry. So this, I don't know how many people like watching movies. You don't like watching movies, just watch movies. Have you watched Gran Turismo? How many people have watched Gran Turismo? Okay, so you saw what he just said in real life. The expectations were that a person that's learned how to drive on the virtual stage can drive a real car, right? The father himself said, "You can't do this." He said, "You watch Gran Turismo, right?" And at the end of the day, he proved the father wrong. He proved the world wrong. And right now, that's where we're going with the innovation that is the metaverse. The things like medicine. Eventually, maybe we'll have doctors who are able to go into the affected area directly using cameras and different sensors and see the problems. So we're going into an age where things will change drastically, right? Isn't that amazing, guys? We're living in a time of change. We've never been in a situation where we can actually see the change happen before it happens. When the internet came out, people said that it was a scam. Before you realize that you're using it for work in school. If those guys invested then, we'd be making money in Africa now. So let's change the narrative, let's change the perspective. Africa is leading this journey, not the other way around. Are we in agreement, guys? Let's put some hands together, right? Africa is leading the journey. Okay? So I want you guys to get some energy. So that means we want to break for lunch. You want to have something to, get to the next session. Kimani, do we have something to give away during this session?
Yes. We have a lot of bounties, guys. We have a lot of bounties. So this time around, SDP, our main sponsor, has a bounty for you guys. And this is gonna be right. So you're gonna have to take a picture with this banner. We need to see this logo, right, in your picture.
And once you do that, post it on Twitter, right? Tag them, tag SCP, tag Definity, tag SCP Cushions. And 3 of you guys are going to receive 1 STP. So how we're going to do this is the tweet that's going to have the most likes as we come back after lunch is going to receive the bounties. So that's one of it. For now, let me repeat. Take a picture of ICP, right? Post on your Twitter, tag them, tag SCP, tag Definity, tag SCP Cushions, and then use the hashtag Africa Metaverse Summit 2023, and boom, the tweet with the most likes, 3 of them, right? Once we break after lunch, when you come, it's gonna receive 1 ICP each. Okay. You know how much 1 ICP is costing right now? I don't know. It's just the ICP to pay at $3.50, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, almost $4. Yeah, that's like 500 shillings Kenya. And you can withdraw. For sure. You can withdraw, I tell you. Let me give this guy a shot. He's asking enough questions today. Yes? We agree? You know, we have to work together. Yeah. So everybody, we have officially broken. DJ Batim City Pale, take a photo with this, share it with your friends. Yes? All right, just a point of before he speaks, before we break. So the cafeteria is way that side. We're gonna have representatives who have won the Metaverse Summit t-shirt. They're gonna just gonna go out this way, and you guys are gonna you're gonna experience VR experience. You're gonna see Paul there. You're gonna see Ronnie. It's gonna take you through the VR experience. Make sure you have fun. Those VR, those who have not had fun with VR. And yeah, definitely gonna spend a little bit on the food for your food. And then once you 1 hour later, exactly what time is it? 1:20. 1:20. So 2:20 we should all be back. Finish up with the rest of the session. Yeah. You want to say something? So the hashtag Divinity and ICP Cushions. Hashtag. So follow ICP Cushions, follow Divinity, and then go and post with this in the background and say you are attending this event, which is the Africa Metaverse Summit 2023. That's the hashtag, and you stand a chance to win. And I promise you, influencers are not going to be coming. So if you think you have 1,000 people on your Twitter and you're going to win, it's not going to work. That you're going for everybody. It's an equal race, right? And food is not expensive here. So let's get it. It's the first password. You can take it with this guy with the t-shirt, you can take it with the banner, you can take it with the sticker. Anybody who feels free to just come up and take the photos, that would be great. After this, we will have activation for Brave, Brave. So please come back after this and we will